She said, "It's just a break, not a breakup." Then I found a photo of her kissing just a friend. Now she's begging outside. But I changed the locks and deleted her number. Emma and I were together for 3 years. Not some on and off thing, real time, living life side by side. We met at a small art gallery in Portland. She said I made her laugh when I joked about how one of the pieces looked like a mashed up burrito. From that night, we just clicked. She always told me, "You're my person. My only person." I held on to those words like they meant something permanent. We were both in our mid-20s, figuring life out. I worked remotely in marketing. She was wrapping up grad school. Life wasn't flashy, but it was real. Late-night grocery runs, Netflix marathons, weekend hikes. We built routines that felt like home. She'd curl up next to me on the couch and randomly say things like, "You're the funniest man I've ever met." Or, "I'll never leave you. You just get me." I believed her. Not because I was naive, but because there were no signs to doubt her. We were open about our pasts. We even laughed about how people jump ship when things get hard. "That's not us," she said once, squeezing my hand. "We talk things through. We don't run." Looking back now, I realize how subtle changes crept in. She started going out more. Said she needed me time, which I supported. Everyone needs space. But gradually, the hours got longer, the replies slower, and I started hearing a new name more often. Ethan. Just a friend from her internship. They clicked over coffee and mutual music taste. I asked once, "So, Ethan, huh?" She brushed it off. "Oh, babe, he's just a friend. You'd probably get along with him." I let it go. Trust was our thing, right? Still, something in her eyes started shifting. There were fewer spontaneous kisses, more guarded silences. I'd come home with takeout and find her scrolling endlessly on her phone, barely looking up. I chalked it up to stress, maybe burnout from school. I didn't want to be one of those clingy boyfriends who read too much into things. So I kept showing up, kept being there, hoping whatever fog she was in would lift. But deep down, I knew something had changed. The way she laughed, the way she kissed me, it all felt calculated. Not cold, just distant. Like she was somewhere else, even when we were sitting side by side. You tell yourself not to worry when someone says, "I'll never leave." But you should, because sometimes people say forever when they're already halfway out the door. That door was about to swing wide open. It was a Thursday evening. I remember that because I had just finished a client call and was reheating leftover pasta when Emma walked through the door. She didn't look upset, more like she'd been practicing something all day and was finally ready to say it. She sat down across from me at the kitchen table, hands folded, and said, "I think I need a break." I blinked. "From what?" I asked, even though I already knew. She sighed, like it physically pained her to answer. "From us. Just for a little while. I'm not saying we're over. I need space to think, to figure out what I want." There it was. The kind of sentence that punches your brain more than your heart. Not saying we're over? What does that even mean? I nodded slowly. "All right," I said, "if that's what you need." Her stuff, clothes, books, little plants she insisted had names, was still all over our place. I looked around and said, "You should probably come get your things this weekend. No point keeping them here if we're not together." That's when she started backtracking. No, she said quickly. "This isn't a breakup. Why are you acting like we're separating? I just said I need a break. Not to move out. I'll be staying at Emily's place for a while and..." I cut her off. "Emma, if you're out, be out. I'm not doing this weird in-between thing where you keep one foot in our place and the other in, wherever you're figuring things out." She looked stunned, like I was the one being unreasonable. But that's not what I meant. This isn't goodbye. It's just time apart. I stared at her, trying to figure out if she actually believed that. If she thought I'd just sit here waiting, not knowing whether we were still a couple while she figured things out, with this Ethan guy I was supposed to believe was just a friend. So I said it. "When you're done with your break and your little side trip with Ethan, feel free to call. If you still have the number." That hit her. She blinked hard and went pale. "What are you talking about?" I looked her in the eye. Calm. Not angry. Just tired. "You know exactly what I'm talking about." She laughed, nervous and forced. "Oh, come on, don't be paranoid. He's just a friend." I asked, "You sure about that?" She went quiet. I reached into the drawer near the counter and pulled out a printed photo. Old school move, I know. But sometimes, a real picture hits harder than anything on a screen. It was her and Ethan. Clear as daylight. Kissing outside some bar. Not just a peck. Hands wrapped around each other like they were in a movie. She stared at it, frozen. Like her entire excuse had just collapsed in real time. I can explain," she stammered. It happened once. We were drunk. It didn't mean anything." "Right," I said. "So you kiss your friends now?" "No," she cried. "It's not like that, I swear. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stood up and said, 'You already did.'" She followed me to the door, eyes wide and watery. Please don't do this. I didn't want it to go this way. You made the choice the moment you kissed him, I said. You just didn't expect to get caught. And with that, I opened the door. Take your stuff. All of it. Don't come back. She stood in the doorway, still clutching that photo like it could somehow be undone. Her face was flushed, eyes darting between mine, searching for something to grab onto. A chance. A way out. A rewind button. But I didn't say another word. She walked back in silence, grabbed a duffel bag from the bedroom, and started throwing clothes into it. I didn't help. I just stood in the living room, watching 3 years pack themselves away in 15 minutes. She kept whispering stuff like, "This isn't who I am," and "I was confused," and "You were so distant lately." Like any of that mattered now. When she stepped out, she turned to face me one last time. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I didn't mean to lose us." I just nodded and shut the door. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I didn't call my friends to vent. I just sat on the couch with the lights off and stared into the nothingness of the room. The silence wasn't comforting or loud. It just was. A week passed. Then 2. I changed the locks the next morning after she left. Not to be dramatic, just to be safe. I needed a clean break. No more unexpected visits. No more half excuses or teary-eyed maybes. But on the 3rd week, late on a Sunday night, she came back. I heard the knock around 11:45 p.m. I didn't answer it at first. She kept knocking, then texting. "Please, just talk to me. I made a mistake. I'll do anything to fix this. I miss you so much it hurts." I looked through the peephole. There she was, in an old hoodie of mine, sitting on the steps, knees pulled to her chest, crying. But I stayed quiet. She called out once, softly. "Honey, please. Just 5 minutes. I'll leave after that. I promise." But I didn't open the door. I didn't need to hear another apology. I didn't need her to explain how it just happened. And I didn't need to see her break down to believe she regretted it. I knew she did. But regret doesn't glue broken trust back together, especially when someone shatters it and tries to lie about it after. That night, I texted her back one last time. "Emma, I don't hate you, but I don't trust you anymore. I believed in us. You didn't. This chapter's closed. Please don't come back." She didn't reply. She didn't knock again. That was over a year ago. Haven't heard from her since. Sometimes people say, "I need space," when what they really want is freedom from accountability. And sometimes the best thing you can do, for your peace, for your dignity, is to let that door stay closed. I don't regret walking away, but I'll never forget how someone who swore she'd never leave ended up kissing just a friend behind my back, then cried at my doorstep when I locked her out for good. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.